Second part here we're going to go through is the actual product review. So like I mentioned, we're going to be going over 1rep max testing input, testing configuration, and then actually programming based off of that 1rep max testing. So this might be something you're doing in Excel currently when you're calculating the formulas out. You can save yourself some time and effort. Instead of doing that, you can do it right inside the CoachMePlus system, where it will calculate 1rep max for specifically each athlete that you have, depending on when you tested them, and then you can program based off those percentages. So if we go back here, we go back into the admin view, we're going to go into the program builder to make our lives a little bit easier. But before we do that, we're going to actually have to add a baseline. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to settings, training, and then baseline. So of course you can see all the baselines that are already in here, but then you can add your own. So here we can give that one a title. So we're going to hit CoachMePlus squat baseline. And then we can, of course, add a formula in here as well. So you have whatever one you want. You can follow the format. So let's do weight divided by 1.0278 minus 0.0278 times our reps, and then we will be good to go. So we hit save and we have that baseline right there, and it has a formula with it. Of course you could go back in and edit or delete those as needed, and that's completely up to you. So once we add that baseline in, we're going to actually put in baseline testing that we've done. So if I go to data tools, testing, 1rep max, I'll be able to enter that in. So I can select my training group. I'm going to pull up my whole stallions group. What date did I do this on? Well, I actually did this last Monday. And then I can choose exactly what baseline I wanted to do. So we just added this CoachMePlus squat baseline. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to put 400 by 3 if I did just based off weight and reps and didn't calculate it beforehand, or I can put in the actual 1rep max on its own if I wanted to. So I can do either or, save those results, and then I will have everything right there. So once I do that, I can then go in and create exercises in the actual program builder that are lined up with that squat. So if I go into the program builder, select library, move on into circuit or exercises, I can add a new exercise with the CoachMePlus squat baseline. So when we do that, hit add exercise. So I have my CoachMePlus squat, 3 by 8. I can add whatever attachment and everything with that. I can leave notes, I can leave tags. Let's make it a little easier on ourselves trying to find that. And then we're going to add the weight property. So I'm just going to add 100% of 1rep max just by default. And then I'm going to add my baseline. And here it is, my CoachMePlus squat baseline. I do that. And then I can add my calculated weight increment, whether it goes up or down by default, and then I can save that. So once we do that, we can add that into a program or a circuit as needed. So I'm going to actually create a program with just this exercise in it so you can see how it affects each individual athlete. So if I add a title in here, so CoachMePlus 1rep max program, give it a start date. Today is just fine. We're going to hit save, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add that exercise. So I'm just going to quickly add the exercise in here. Like I mentioned, I added a tag to it, so I'm going to use that to get there really quickly, and we're good to go. So I add that in, 3 by 8, and then it's in my actual circuit. For example, if I wanted to reduce the amount of reps as I'm going along, I'm going to edit that circuit, and then I'm going to create a set progression. So we're going to make that real simple on ourselves. So let's put this down to 5 at 90, and then we're going to adjust this one down to 5 at 80. So you can do that. You're weights will be calculated right off of that. We're going to hit save, and then you can see that set progression occur right there. So when we do that, we can go back. I'm just going to hit save one more time just to make sure we have everything, and then I'm going to assign that to my stallions group. So I have all my athletes in here. Like mentioned in previous videos, you can assign to each individual or you can assign to a bunch. We're going to go to all the forwards, all the defensemen, and all the goalies. So the whole team right there. Give it a prompt date and assign it. So we have that. We're going to save the changes we've made to the program, and then we're going to actually go in and view the actual programs of the athletes themselves, just so you can see how that 1 rep max has affected that. So if we go into Cole Wepner right here, we can see that he has his 1RM program. We can go in, and then we're going to customize and see exactly what he has to do for the day. So we have that 3x8. Here you go. You're good to go. So your squat goes right in there, 3x8. Your 1RM's right there, and you can edit it as needed for this individual athlete or for the whole group. So we go back. Let's just see how it affects other individuals' programs. So Charlie here, we have his 1 rep max program. We're going to go into the day, and then we can see that Charlie here has his 1 rep max in there as well. So he didn't have the calculated value, he just had the 390 pound 1 rep max baseline, and his testing's in there, and then his programming is based off of that. So we go there, and then what if we had an athlete that didn't have it? So Calvin here didn't have any baseline testing. What we do when we go into his program is we're going to see on his day that he is actually missing his baseline. So we go on in, and then it says missing athlete baseline, and then the athlete will be able to see that themselves as well. So this might be all fine and dandy if you view it as a coach, but what if you're the actual athlete? So if we go into Cole here, and go log on in, we can see that he has his program right here. Okay, 1 rep max program, and then you can view it right here as well. So he has his 1 rep max, 100%, 8 reps by 3 sets. So he can complete those as needed, or he can adjust those if failure. Of course, he can see anything he's done in the past, even off this 1 rep max testing, and that is fully available in all CoachMePlus systems. So you can do that. Pretty simple. You can avoid using the spreadsheets to be able to program based off of that. You can put in your baselines, you can put in your calculations, and then each exercise that you assign with those 1 rep max baselines attached to them will allow you to be able to calculate those values without having to worry about it and assigning that straight to your athletes. So of course you can add a bunch of different baselines in, you can add those to different programs, and it'll carry along each baseline that you have, whatever calculation for whatever athlete, you will be good to go. So that's basically 1 rep max programming right inside the CoachMePlus system that will allow you to do things a whole lot easier. Of course, now we're going to transition to our question and answer section. This is only going to be for our live viewers alone that are with us right now. We'll be able to answer or ask us questions right inside the YouTube or inside Facebook Messenger, where I can answer anything you'd like to go over for us to cover here. So if you're not joining us for the live session, of course, follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube right here. And then also go to CoachMePlus.com and check out the cool things we've been working on. So of course our case studies, and then also some of the media that we've done as well.